Well, it's time to do a Four Roses single barrel review. A buddy of mine has decided to share some of this with me. So let me get a little quick nosing on that. Smells good. I bet it tastes good. Now, if only I had a skeptic though, that'd be willing to tell me their honest opinion of this.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hey.
I happen to be in the neighborhood and my spider senses started going off. Sounds like you need some help.
You were just in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Honestly? Okay, so do you like or dislike Four Roses?
So me personally, I dislike Four Roses. There has not been a Four Roses bourbon that I have had that I enjoyed.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out if that's psychosomatic all in my head or if it's something about the brand that I don't actually like.
You know, I always have a solution to that problem.
What's that solution?
We are going to do a blind tasting. Okay, so these are poured blind. You brought a single barrel. I have some single barrels that we're going to compare. They're close to 100 proof, at least really close. One of them's not. So
Okay.
I'll let you figure out which one is likely not
Okay.
the 100 proof. But these are all Kentucky straight bourbons.
Okay.
I think you'll have a hard time figuring out which one is the Four Roses, in my opinion.
Okay.
But these are color coded at the bottom of the glass. So
Okay.
at this point, I know which one is the Four Roses.
Okay.
All right.
I do not.
But I honestly do not remember what the other ones, like where the other ones are.
Okay.
At this point, we
Gotcha.
kind of mix them up a little bit. But you guys watching will know for sure which one's which. They are in the same order from left to right.
Okay.
So it is up to you. Where do you want to start?
I think left to right is always a good, it's like reading a book. We're gonna go left to right, I think.
Okay. So
All right.
let's do that. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. So nosing it. What you get?
All right, so off the bat, I mean, it's very, very aromatic.
Some fruity notes. A lot of cherries. I get
A
cherries.
lot of cherry, yeah, that's what I get there.
Spicy.
Not super spicy, like I'm always really terrible at like identifying smells and flavors. I'm always like, oh yes, cherries. It does, it does have that bourbon.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very bourbon.
Yeah.
Because some of them don't. Every once in a while you'll dive into a bourbon and it's just whiskey.
Okay.
But this is very brown sugary on the smell.
You ready for a taste?
Ready for a taste.
All right.
Here we
Cheers.
go.
On the taste, not very spicy. A lot of vanilla, a lot of cherry still.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Four Roses? Not Four Roses? Are you ready to make that call just yet?
I'm gonna say that's not Four Roses.
Okay, so that's a no.
Because it's not, well, it could be, but now I'm all nervous because I'm all like, I don't like Four Roses. And then if I'm all like, oh, all these were actually pretty good, I mean, that'll prove the point that I'm trying to investigate.
Okay.
Because that's not terrible. It's good. I actually like that one. And so I'm nervous to say that it's not Four Roses or it is. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that one for sure.
Well, let's get into number two whenever you're ready. We will have to sip a little water just to cleanse the palate, especially Chad here, because he's the one that has to figure out which one's the Four Roses.
Right.
Real light
And
on the
so,
nose.
so that's telling me maybe it is Four Roses.
Huh. Now, you never really told me why you don't particularly like Four Roses or why you're not a fan.
So
let me know what's going on with that.
That's a hard one to answer because, I haven't had it recently and I don't have it very frequently. I did go to the facility and it's a beautiful facility. And I did the single barrel tasting and you didn't really get a tour or anything of the facility. So that was a little disappointing, but you had their higher end bourbons and I didn't finish them.
Okay.
I just tasted them and I was like, I'm good. No thanks.
All right.
And I think I think part of it is this may be the Four Roses because I think it doesn't have, for me, there's no distinctiveness to it, I think, is what the problem is.
So nothing really jumps out at you when it comes to Four Roses.
Right.
Okay.
And I can't smell like anything on this one.
All right. Well, let's get in for a taste.
There we go.
Yeah. The nose is not really like robust.
Right.
Real light. Now, from time to time, you might hear some drilling, some hammering, some banging. Fret not. We have people putting in doors upstairs. So, again, nobody's in danger or anything like that. We just have a little construction going on. So if there is a scream, it's probably because somebody hit their hand, I'm sure. But, okay, what are your thoughts on this one? Four Roses still?
I think that's Four
Still
Roses.
thinking? Okay, so you're thinking it is.
I didn't care for that one very much.
Okay.
There's a lot of, I don't want to say oakiness because oakiness is fine, but it's like a woody, grainy, it just, there's something about that I can't put my finger on that I don't like.
So far, I'm not gonna tell you obviously which one it is, but gauging between the two, I prefer this one. So I think that's gonna be my role here is to just express which one I prefer over the others. So this one is like my favorite so far.
Same.
This one's gonna be my number 2. So let's move on to number 3. By the way, I do love your sweater.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'm a cardigan guy.
You're very gentlemanly.
Yeah, I tried to comb the hair and get the stash all nice, I actually had to do the mustache for a role I did. I got booked acting and they wanted the mustache, so.
Chad's an actor.
Yeah.
Now, today he's not acting, just for the record.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Chad?
That's why I'm so awkward and it's like, oh, why is he being weird? Because that's who I am. If I actually had like a character to sit down, I'd be like, all right, this is what we're going to sample next.
Oh no, he's weird.
Yeah, super weird.
So he's being himself. Okay, so this is number 3.
And this one also has a subdued kind of palate.
Okay.
But if like stone
it's got
fruit
more
kind of smell.
going on than the second one, in my opinion.
I agree with that. Yeah, I can actually like identify, like peach maybe.
Okay. Yeah, there's some orchard fruit going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, some dried
like peach peel or something.
Peel. Yeah, I get a little bit of nectarine in there.
Yeah.
Is it spicy? You
No.
get any spice? Because that's one thing that Four Roses is known for. They have 2 mash bills that they stick with.
Okay.
They're both high rye mash bills. They don't use any wheat in any of their mash bills. And so the first mash bill is 60% corn, right? With I think it's 35% rye, and the rest is just malted barley.
Okay.
And then their second mash bill is higher than that. It's like 71 or 75% corn, and the rest is high rye, so it'd be the rye and then 5% malted barley.
Okay.
All right, don't check me on the math. We're actually going to do a review of the Four Roses, so we'll do a deep dive.
Yeah, we'll circle back to it.
Yeah, but both are still high rye bourbons.
Okay.
I don't get a lot of spice on this.
Yeah, again. This one's pretty subdued.
Wow. Okay. Just me.
Okay.
The nose, not very remarkable. It's not anything that really even stands out. The taste, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on the taste.
It's very viscous.
Sparkly,
and
bright.
like caramel. Like a real big caramel note. I like that. That's
you get any
good.
like bright notes, ginger? Almost like a little bit of root beer anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, there's like a brightness to it.
Yeah.
Sunny.
Like it opens up. It really opens up.
Yeah. All right. So I know we don't want to belabor this. So do you feel like this is the Four Roses?
I don't think so. There's a small outside chance that it could be, but this first one is still my favorite.
I'm only pushing these. You're probably wondering, like, what am I doing on camera here? So in order of favorites, so far this is my favorite still. This one is a close second. This one is definitely not my favorite, so it's last.
Okay.
So let's jump to number 4.
I'm pushing my forward as
Okay.
I think that's...
You're thinking that's it, huh?
And just on the smell with this one alone, I don't think this is.
Now this one's very different from the previous 3.
Right.
More vanilla, more leathery, but more creaminess. is
Yeah,
happening
I
with
can
this
see
one.
all that.
Ooh, wait, there's like a, well, I don't want to steal the show. What else are you
Please,
getting?
absolutely. Again, because I'm so difficult with finding words. That vanilla is really strong.
Yeah.
On that front end.
I get a deep licorice thing happening.
Okay, I'm not getting that
Like
yet,
a
but...
black, unsweetened licorice.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Almost, there's also a Pepsi Cola, like syrup.
Okay.
You ever smell or taste Pepsi syrup?
Yeah. So you kind of
Unmistakable?
know it. Yeah, you're just like, oh my God.
Also,
I
gummy colas, kind of.
Oh yeah, like the little bottles that look like Cokes.
Yep.
But this one does have a lot going on.
I like this one too. What do you think? Four Roses? You still
I'm
thinking
still
number 2
pretty
is
sure
Four
that's
Roses?
Four Roses.
Okay.
This one
Do
still
you
is
need
my
to go
favorite.
back to anything? Or are you pretty set on Four Roses?
I'm not going to go back on this one because I know that's not.
Okay.
And it's my favorite. So if it is,
Okay.
then I need to rethink my life.
Okay.
This one does definitely have that kind of that cola taste on the back end.
Yeah.
The initial was butterscotch and caramel, and then it kind of faded into the back with that cola kind of finish. This one, let me go back to the middle one.
Yeah, so the nose jumped out with a lot of licorice for some reason, but then it didn't really translate on the taste. I don't get licorice per se on the taste. It transformed more into like a nice cinnamon, a lot of clove, but I wasn't getting that licorice. I mean, sometimes that translates into anise for me.
Okay.
I'm not getting that as much. Not as much. It's
on
very
this fourth
light
one.
anise if there is.
Yeah.
Anything like, maybe we just need to sit with it.
And that one lingers for a while. That's
there's
pretty
a long
good.
finish.
Yeah.
Spicy. Yeah. Okay, so let's first figure out if you're right about the Four Roses.
Okay.
So underneath the glass, if there is a red dot, you are spot on.
I'm so nervous. It is not. It's green.
It is green.
That means this one's
right.
going to be red.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Those were the two that I was, okay.
Okay. Well, hey,
was close,
you almost got it. So you came in with a gold palette Glencairn.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to respectfully take it back from you. And you are now officially back to trash palette.
All right, trash palette. That's fine.
So,
womp womp.
So when we do the review of the Four Roses, so stick around for part 2, he's going to have to sip out of the trash palette.
Oh no.
I guess I call it the garbage bin.
Okay.
And then we'll see
like
if
it.
he kind of elevates back to gold palette. Well, you don't always tend to stay in the trash palette level here at the Whiskey One house. So just to be clear, your favorite is number
The first
1.
Yep.
Number 2 favorite is
This guy here.
that one. Number 3.
This would have been the third.
Third,
favorite.
and then last place
favorite.
is that one, which was not a Four Roses. Okay,
Correct.
mine is pretty easy. From favorite, number 1. Second is number 4. My third favorite is number 3, which was the Four Roses, and last was this guy.
So we actually have the same. Okay.
Okay, so these were the bottles that we poured.
All right.
One was Old Colonel E.H. Taylor Single Barrel.
Oh.
Hard to find, at least here in New Mexico. It's really hard to find. Usually you have to get in some sort of raffle or lottery. So
Okay.
this was yellow. Which one's yellow?
The first one.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah, so that's our favorite.
So here's our first glass there. Number 2, we have Baker's Single Barrel,
Okay.
aged 7 years. So I struggled to get one that was exactly at 100 proof. So this one's 107 proof. So green is which one?
This one here. The
Number
one I
2.
thought was Four Roses.
Okay.
And I have never had that before, so.
Interesting. Yeah, and this one didn't have a lot going on. And this
didn't.
happens to be a fresh cork pop too.
Okay.
All right, and number 3, which was not Four
Should be
Roses,
over here.
was the Rock Hill Farms.
Blue?
And that was this sucker here, the one that was my number 2.
Mine as well.
Right? And then your Four Roses happens to be number 3. All right. So for those of you guys watching,
Interesting.
again, my mentality was like, hey, focus on single barrels, try to get it close to 100 proof, and go from there. I think it did as good as I could, given my own selection. I've been actually getting rid of a lot of bourbon because I had a lot of bourbon.
You do, huh?
I do. I have a little collection. So for you guys watching, thanks for sticking around. This was actually fun to see whether he could actually pick out the Four Roses, which he says he dislikes.
I was close. I was close.
I don't know if you do. So do you appreciate Four Roses a little bit more?
No.
Is it growing on you?
No.
Still not growing on
No,
you?
not at all. No. That's why I was like hesitant with these two, and I was like, I'll stick with, because you usually stick with your gut. Your first instinct is right a lot of the time. Sometimes it's not.
Usually.
But I was very back and forth with those two. So I think that I need to stick with my no Four Roses for me.
No Four Roses. Well, we are still going to do a review.
We will.
He is going to help me out with that. So stick around for part 2, guys. And remember, here at Whiskey One, it's about the one you enjoy. Cheers.